Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the TU crew, to another episode of the Totally Unqualified Podcast. This is episode 56, and you will never believe I am joined by the same old bozos, both Jake and Luke. How are we doing today, boys?
You're shitting me.
Whoa. I know.
I mean,
that was a little offensive. You guys,
hey, we've been spreading the love a lot here lately. I had to switch it up, you know?
Yeah, guys, the reason we have to always say who we're joined by is because Gage keeps trying to get rid of us. So we keep clawing our ways back. We keep clawing our way back. We will keep fighting the good fight. So we are back here for now. And if we're ever not here, Gage did it. But other than that, I'm having a great day.
I've been having a kind of crazy day. Let me bring you through this real quick. So I was just covering Oswego men's hockey. Okay. It's the biggest sport that we have here. We actually just took first place and we're going to host a playoff game in our conference. Now, 7 goals scored in the first 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Now that's
between
hockey.
Both teams. Now let's do that hockey, as Chance the Rapper says. 7 goals in the first 10 minutes. And then I think Oswego ended up winning 7-3. So that was awesome. I was running the scoreboard, the dashboard for the game for our broadcast, and the clock on the actual, like what I look at through like a camera, the clock on the actual scoreboard in the stadium. They stopped the clock for some reason in the midway through the second period. So I didn't know what the fuck to do with my clock on the broadcast because I didn't have it right. And then it was just, I'll just leave it up to it's a whole big ordeal. There's 2 feet of snow outside in Oswego. If you live in upstate New York, I'm fucking sorry. This shit sucks. I'm ready to go. I'm all over the place. Let's get into it.
All right. Well, hopefully we can have a little bit more of a chill time with Luke over the next hour or so.
I hope so.
But before we do that, if you guys are listening on Apple or Spotify, be sure to leave a rating and review. We very much appreciate it. It helps push out the podcast to more people so we can continue to build this awesome community that you guys have been a part of for, a while now. We very much appreciate it. And then if you're watching on YouTube, same kind of thing. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, all those great things, and we'll continue to produce great content for you guys. Now, before we get into our topics for the day, we, of course, have to do Guess That Player, and we're going to do it the same way we've been doing it, where you guys ask me questions. I have got it ready to go, so whoever wants to start it, have at it.
Are they a Virgo?
Yeah,
Are they a Virgo?
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, what's their star sign?
Yeah.
I don't.
What's their shoe size?
Holy shit.
What's their cleat size?
Do they have any allergies?
Maybe.
Do they wear an odd or even number?
I cannot believe how unprepared you came for this segment.
The fuck, Gage?
What is
sorry.
going
I'm
on?
sorry. I totally unqualified right here.
I know.
It's all me.
What month were they born in?
Yeah.
Come on. AFC or NFC?
AFC.
Are they of Scandinavian descent?
Jesus.
No.
Defense player?
Yeah.
Defense. AFC.
AFC defense.
Yep.
Is it Matt Milano?
It is not Matt Milano.
Damn.
Isaac Rochelle.
No.
Man. Amani Oruwariye. Oh wait, no, he's on the Lions.
Yes. Shout out Penn Stater. Always got to shout out my Penn State.
No, who's that? There's a guy with a similar name on the Broncos.
He's a tight end. Dare Ogwu.
No, not
Alberto.
There's a cornerback. Whatever. That's not him.
He's not on the
it's
I'll
not
say
him.
that.
Chidobe Awuzie.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
He
is
likes
he,
to try to
is
get
he
the
in the
team.
secondary? Is he in the secondary?
He is in the secondary.
Oh
Gosh.
shit. Chuck Clark.
No.
Jordan Poyer.
No.
Is he?
At least get the division or something.
Don't rush me.
Yeah, AFC West.
He is in the AFC West.
Oh, look at that.
Justin Herbert, but on defense.
No.
Is it Kenneth Murray?
No.
Oh, wait, that's not a secondary player. Is it Derwin James?
It is Derwin James.
Oh, look at that.
I was close. I said Justin Herbert, but on defense.
This is the year of me. I gotta say.
The year of Luke.
Just
the year of me.
Guys, I'm really humble, but this is the year of all things me because of my humility.
Just me.
Yeah, no, like you guys see what I'm doing and guess that player.
I just wish you guys could be as humble as I am.
No,
like it's actually kind of ridiculous.
I wish.
Man.
I wish everybody could be like me, sometimes.
First world problems.
All right. So anyway, I picked Derwin James because I figured to be totally honest, I went to a random player generator and he was one of the 6 players that popped up. And I was like, I don't think we've done Derwin James yet.
That's a good one.
And you know what? He played really well this season after not playing last year. And the Chargers got a new head coach. So it's only right that we jump into some new head coaching hires that have already happened not off season yet, but have already happened just recently. So what we're going to do is we are each going to give our favorite hire thus far and our least favorite hire thus far. So Jake, if you want to start us off with your favorite hire, then Luke will give his favorite. We'll go around and then we'll do the least favorites after that.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn here because I have 2 guys that I really liked. But I am, all right. I'm going to give an honorable mention to Matt Eberflus for the Bears, but I think my favorite guy, and it sucks that he was tarnished by this lawsuit. Brian Daboll, like I think I said maybe Brian, but I've been saying Brian Daboll needs to be a head coach for a while now. And I just think he's going to bring the right culture to New York, and he's done great things with Josh Allen. And that's the type of guy that Daniel Jones needs. He needs a guy that's used to developing a very raw quarterback that really hasn't had a lot of guidance. And that's what Daniel Jones kind of is. So I really like Brian Daboll. I think he's a tremendous offensive mind. And I think, first of all, he's a fucking unit. Let's just get that out of the way.
Dude is huge.
Oh my God. I wish he was playing offensive line for the Seahawks. And I'm not shitting you right now. Like he probably legitimately could make the team.
He kind of looks like Andrew Whitworth, just like build and just like face.
You know what? Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. But yeah, I really like the Brian Daboll hire. And I think that Giants fans were all very happy with it. And I think they, for once in a very long time, I think they got it right.
Man, I wish they would have went with like Jim Tom Sula or someone. That's a name I haven't heard of
Jim Tom
forever.
Sula.
Jim Tom
what a guy.
Or no, that's not Ben McAdoo is who I was thinking of.
No, offensive coordinator of the Panthers. He just got hired.
Yeah, because the Panthers just don't want to get better.
Oh, they love him. I think it was a good hire because you saw him and how he developed Josh Allen as more like athletic type quarterback. Of course, Jake that's a sick shirt,
right? Etsy, $30.
Look at that. You saw the way that he was able to sort of develop, even though I don't think he was calling plays. I believe, was he calling plays? I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
He was? Okay.
Yeah.
Over Sean McDermott?
Sean McDermott's a defensive guy.
Okay. Yeah, you saw the way he was able to develop Josh Allen. I'm sure the Giants are hoping he could do the same with Daniel Jones. For me, my favorite is actually Nathaniel Hack. A lot of people probably thought.
Shocker.
Listen, I didn't want to lose him, but as much as I didn't want to lose him as an OC, the guy is built to coach a football team. He led the Jacksonville Jaguars all the way to the AFC Championship. Obviously, Doug Marrone was there, but he was the OC at the time. He was the Green Bay Packers offensive coordinator during this 3-year stretch with under Matt LaFleur, and he's just been a godsend. Just everything that he brings to the team. Not only is he just a good like personality, a guy that you want to play for, a guy who you want to fight for, but he'll turn it on. Like when it needs to get heated a little bit, he'll turn it on. He could get a little feisty too. I think the Broncos, they need to find a quarterback. Maybe they hired Hackett because obviously Aaron Rodgers and him have a great relationship. We don't know that yet though. They need a quarterback for him to work, but I think this offense, if they don't get a star quarterback like that, is going to be predicated off running the damn ball, fixing up the O-line, and getting back to smash mouth football that we've seen the Broncos dominate with earlier, a few decades ago. But I love that hire. Sad to see him go. Sad to see him take Luke Getsy too. That was tough, but nonetheless, he deserved it, and he's a great person, great guy. Did you guys watch the Broncos documentary of their coach hiring process? They released like a six-part mini series.
That's talking about how they show up hungover.
Probably ill-timed.
Yes,
probably.
That's
somebody
blooper reel.
Yes, somebody in PR did not get to the video production team in time to be like, let's ixnay on this whole project here because this might come up in court.
But yeah, so you went with a former Jaguars guy. I'm going to go with the brand new Jaguars guy in Doug Peterson. I thought that he was a fantastic head coach for the Eagles. Unfortunately, the situation just headed in a direction that I feel like it was best for them to part ways just because of the state of the locker room. And then the way that they ended, where everybody was saying that they tanked and stuff like that, it was just going to be very difficult for him to continue in that organization. But for him to be hired by the Jaguars with a young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, I think is going to be great for them. For the first time in a long time, like you said, Jake, with the Giants, it feels like the Jaguars actually got it right. They hired a guy that makes sense rather than going out and getting a fucking Urban Meyer. So I love the Doug Peterson hire. I think that he's going to do great things for Jacksonville, and I think that this team definitely has a chance to improve under him.
Yeah.
Will they actually use James Robinson though? Ever?
He's injured, right? He's hurt. He's gonna be hurt for.
Next year, is he?
Yeah. I think it was Achilles. It was something.
I think it was Achilles, actually. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So
Travis Etienne time then.
I know it's just like good thing they drafted. It's just gonna be keep flip flopping injuries, but little side note: if Byron Leftwich would have gotten hired, I would have picked Byron Leftwich for the Jaguars. It ultimately came down to he was smart and didn't want to work with Trent Baalke because everybody. At what point does it get to like when everybody is saying the same thing that you as an owner? I don't give a shit how much you like the guy. Like obviously he's just putting on an act in front of you, like because he wants to keep his job. Like everybody's gonna be brown nosing the fucking owner. Okay, so Shad Khan, like at some point you got to be like, maybe I should listen to the people around me who say Trent Baalke. Like, what has Trent Baalke done in Jacksonville?
Nothing. Did you see that graphic? Did you see that graphic? I think like Sunday Night Football posted on Instagram or something.
I didn't. What did it say?
It showed his whole history of back when he was with the 49ers. It was like an 8-8 season, then a 2-14 season, and then it was
his
just
entire career. I don't know.
Exactly.
Job.
Exactly.
So Byron Leftwich was like, I just don't want to work with the guy who has literally proven nothing to me, which makes sense. A lot of head coaches want to be with a GM that are on the same page, right? Like, this isn't like a crazy thing. This is like Byron Leftwich is it made sense. Like I think it was smart of him and good for him for being like, listen, if you're not going to put me in a position to succeed the most, I'll remove myself from the search. Like respectfully. Good for him for doing that. Doug Peterson, I do like that hire. I think it's a very safe pick for Trevor Lawrence. Doug Peterson is a good coach. He's won a Super Bowl. Gage, like you said, things just didn't work out in Philly. Like it was a very weird circumstance where the locker room, he kind of lost the locker room as soon as they chose Carson Wentz over Nick Foles.
And Philadelphia just being there in general and having a situation like that, you're just not going to last long like you would other places.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that everybody can relax now that Trevor Lawrence has a proven head coach who's been to a Super Bowl, has climbed the mountain with the most improbable franchise under the most improbable circumstances. So I think Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence are going to be a very safe bet. And Trevor Lawrence is now, I think, in very, very good hands. Maybe not as good of hands as Byron Leftwich would have been, but I think he's in good hands. So I think Jaguars fans could take a deep breath. Worst hire. Got to go with Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell as the Vikings head coach. I do. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It just didn't. I don't have like a legitimate reason. It just didn't feel right to me. It just didn't feel right. I know Kevin O'Connell has been Sean McVay's offensive coordinator for a couple of years now. But like at the same time, like I just feel like there were better candidates out there, more proven candidates. Yeah. But I mean, he's had like the Rams offense has had a phenomenal season, so I can't really say anything about it. But I don't know. I think this would have been. I don't know. Maybe they were just going for, they've had a defense coach for so many years, go for the offensive guy now. But I feel like this would have been a good situation for Brian Flores. And I think that's why it put the bad taste in my mouth. So
no, I see that.
Nothing against Kevin O'Connell, though. Nothing against Kevin O'Connell.
I see that too. Because the Vikings' problem right now isn't their offense. I mean, they have Dalvin Cook. Yeah. Justin Jefferson is only getting better. Adam Thielen is a proven vet.
Alexander Madison, they have roughly the best backup running back in the league.
Maybe the best 1-2 punch. I mean, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. But
that's
you need a defensive guy there. I'm actually going to go with if the Vikings would have hired this guy, I would have loved it. I'm going to go with Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus, and I understand that he's led the Colts defense back-to-back great seasons. Even last year they were probably the most consistent defense in the league. This year fell off a little bit. There were some injuries in the process, but the Bears didn't need this guy. The Bears needed an offensive-minded head coach that's going to gel well with Justin Fields. Okay, I understand their defense has taken a step back from what it was in 2018. Khalil Mack has taken a step back, but you still have a really solid core. Roquan Smith, Khalil Mack, like I said, and Robert Quinn, and then Eddie Jackson and Jalen Johnson in the secondary, right? They needed an offensive guy. Forever they've needed an offensive guy. And I don't think I get it's going to be more Luke Getsy's going to be able to call the plays.
Yeah.
I don't know if I love Luke Getsy in that position. I really don't. There was rumors that he was going to go to the Packers and be their offensive coordinator. He was going to be promoted from the Packers organization. I didn't love it, to be fair, but he was the former quarterbacks coach. So, hopefully they're going to be able to develop Justin Fields. I don't think any of the hires are terrible. Let me just say that. This is just my least favorite because I feel like as the head coach, as the head guy there, I think you got to be calling your shots. You got to be calling the plays. They were in limbo with Matt Nagy just a couple of years ago. And is he going to call plays? He's bad at calling plays. Let me give it to the OC. I think the head coach has to be dominant. He has to be able to call the plays. I don't know. I don't hate it per se. Just my least favorite out of the ones hired so far.
Yeah, both of you guys, I feel like, went with picks that were more so predicated on, like, it just feels like the wrong kind of guy for that job. Like the Vikings, it would make more sense for them to go out and get a defensive guy.
They should have flip-flopped. They should have switched.
It would make more sense.
Honestly,
100%.
Guy. For me, I don't think it's really either of those things for my pick because I feel like for the Raiders, it could really go either way, and you could get a defensive or offensive guy and be fine. But I don't like the Josh McDaniels hire. I don't think anyone really cares for the Josh McDaniels hire, to be honest. And when you're coming from a team, well, first of all, I mean, he's left a bad taste in people's mouths after deciding to be a head coach and then just saying, fuck it. No, I'm not going to do that. But when you're coming from a team that for years has been very heavily predicated on the defensive side of the ball and that being the number one priority, and then the offense coming next after that, it just feels a little off to me. And I feel like the defense for the Raiders is in a pretty solid spot, a spot that a lot of people didn't expect it to be. So I almost would have liked the defensive guy more personally, but maybe he can do something. It's like you said, Luke, I don't hate any of the hires. I just don't love this one like I do the other ones.
Yeah. I don't think either of them. I don't think any of the hires are just straight up bad. Like we don't have an Urban Meyer right this year
for sure. One that you could just look at and be like, "That why?"
Yeah, that is never gonna fucking work.
We still got some spots open. Don't worry.
True. As the Saints, Dolphins, and Texans are without head coaches right now. Hopefully
Josh
those
McCown,
get filled.
Wink, wink. Josh McCown, maybe.
That's crazy. I'm sorry.
Let
me go off on that. Yeah, let me fucking go off on that. How the fuck does Josh McCown, who's never coached a day in his life, who's never been a great quarterback a day in his life, has gone from team to team to team to team? Yeah, sure. He has experience with a bunch of different offensive coordinators, a bunch of different coaches, a bunch of different places. What the fuck does that mean? Does that make you qualified being a terrible quarterback and just being a traveler? Does that make you more qualified than a guy like Brian Flores, who's taking the shitty ass Dolphins to back-to-back, or I don't think, no, they winning seasons, right? That's blasphemy. But you know what? It's to be expected from the Houston Texans. Frustrating.
So,
I also don't I also didn't think David Culley was the right hire either. I thought that was a terrible hire as well.
I didn't either.
And
David Culley very much struck me as because last year the Houston Texans waited till the very last second to hire a head coach because they had that whole just dumpster fire going on with Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe Eric Bieniemy was pretty much gonna be their head coach, and then he kind of pulled away. Yeah, after the Deshaun Watson thing. Yeah,
maybe.
But so apparently this just came out yesterday from Pro Football Network saying that the Houston Texans head coaching finalists are Josh McCown, Jonathan Gannon, don't know who that is, and Brian Flores. So, and also Brian Flores is in the mix for that Saints head coaching job as well. So it doesn't seem like Brian Flores is being exiled from the NFL. It seems like he's actually legitimately being, because he deserves to, because he's so talented.
And he was still a candidate for that Vikings job as well. They didn't end up going that direction, but they were still considering him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brian Flores is still very much in the mix. It seems like, at least from the rumors.
I hope so.
Around. So we'll see what happens with that. We still have 3 more teams, like you guys said, that need to pick a head coach. So there's still going to be some interesting things that come out, especially with that Dolphins job that we thought was that was a good landing spot. But now, after hearing all the things about Stephen Ross,
have any of you heard anything about any leads to who's going to be the next Dolphins head coach?
They're interviewing 49ers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniels.
McDaniels. Okay.
I got an update saying that I thought they did interview him, that they were like impressed. I think it's a second interview, right?
Something like that. He just landed in South Florida today or something like that. So yeah, I think they really like him.
Gage, how you feeling about Matt Nagy possibly?
No, absolutely fucking not. He's not even in talks right now. We're interested in Eric Bieniemy. We've talked to Dennis Allen. We've talked to guys within the organization, a couple different guys within the organization already. So I'm pretty confident that we'll get somebody. I like pretty much everybody that we've interviewed so far. No matter who we hire, I'm like that's the guy.
I kind of hope it goes to Dennis Allen. I feel like
I think it should go to Dennis Allen.
He's my favorite for the job, but if it went to like Eric Bieniemy, I mean, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah,
absolutely. Keep Dennis Allen in his role. Sure.
Yeah. I think Eric Bieniemy, it's just, and I feel like Chiefs fans, like I've seen on social media, are like, oh, you can have Eric Bieniemy. He's overrated anyway. It's like, I'm kind of sick I'm sick and tired of talking about Eric Bieniemy deserving a head coaching job. Not because he doesn't deserve one, but because it's been so fucking long that he has deserved one. It's like, can we just get him a job and prove to the NFL that this guy deserved to be a head coach? I don't know.
And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but he is deserving of a job.
Exactly.
He has proven himself enough to at least get a shot at one.
He deserved an opportunity before Urban fucking Meyer did.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
Are you kidding me? Do you think I feel like there's just something weird. There has to be something that we don't know as to why he's getting a job, because he's consistently been one of the best coordinators year in and year out. Just look at the fucking offense the Chiefs have had over the past half decade. Insane, or at least with Patrick Mahomes. Do you think maybe they're trying to save the Chiefs? Have something behind the scenes they're trying to hold on to him for when Andy Reid eventually retires?
Maybe, but I've heard they have a quarterback coach, I believe, that they're have ready to promote to offensive coordinator. And I forget, I don't know what his name is, but honestly, I don't know how. He's got to be in his 60s, Andy Reid. I don't think he's close to being at the end of his career.
I kind of think he is.
I think he's got 4 or 5 years. I mean, Pete Carroll's in his 70s, and he's still coaching. Yeah. So, but yeah, I just
Pete Carroll also doesn't eat cheeseburgers every day, but
that's true. That's true. That's fair.
Maybe he should. Maybe that would get it.
Yeah, maybe. What was I going to say? Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Shit. Oh, do you guys think that Matt Nagy left a bad taste in people's mouths for Chiefs offensive coordinators?
No, I don't think that has anything to do with it personally.
Yeah. I
think Matt Nagy left a bad taste in people's mouth for Matt Nagy.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. That's a fair point. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what could maybe lead to this, but I just can't. I'm literally speechless. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea where it could come from. If Matt Nagy wants to get another head coaching job, he's definitely going to be having to put in some overtime. Speaking of which, we are proud to be sponsored by the Overtime app. If you guys don't have it yet, it is a fantastic app. We love it to death. And we put on weekly overtime fantasy pools. We've got one going on this weekend. It's open while you're listening to this for the Pro Bowl tomorrow on Sunday. So definitely be sure to join that. And we are giving away a $100 Nike gift card, totally free. All you have to do is get on the app, join, get in the pool, and make your picks. And if you come out on top, you'll be winning that $100 Nike gift card. So we highly recommend that.
What just happened?
Luke's dying. Luke is passing away on us.
Breathe.
Basically throughout the entirety of me doing that ad read, he was passing away.
You guys ever get a sweet and salty nut and just
do
watch
I ever
in the back
get,
of your
did I ever get a swat?
No, that's literally what it's
Luke.
Sweet
Jesus
salty
Christ.
nut bar. Sorry.
PG podcast, people.
My bad,
PG
it
podcast.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Disgusting.
For those only listening, not watching on YouTube, Luke got a sweet and salty nut stuck in his throat.
Yeah. I mean, happens to us all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
And, you know, if you're into that, if you're into that kind of thing, that might be his favorite moment of the podcast. But now we're going to talk about our favorite moments of the 2021-2022 NFL season. So I'm going to start with you, Luke. And if you want to give us your number 3 moment, actually just give us all 3 of your moments, and then we'll go around and just list them off.
Oh man. How do you move on from that? So at number 3, I'll be straight up. Mine are a little biased. At 3, I have Rasool Douglas, one of his first games as a Packer, sealing the game with a game-sealing interception in the end zone against Kyler Murray and the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. There wasn't a second, I thought for sure they were going to lose. There was no doubt in my mind. I was like, yep, this is how it goes. They're going to throw it. But
I can give you that one. That was a big moment. I like
that. Was huge. That was huge.
Yeah.
And just the way that he played for us this entire season, and from him coming off the Arizona practice squad to do that, he's been a godsend. It was a great story, like you said. Rasool Douglas, Pro Bowl alternate. Is he playing tomorrow or Sunday? I hope so.
I have no idea, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I didn't even know the Pro Bowl was being played this week. Oh, I knew it was this week. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Pro Bowl. It's terrible. But at my number 2 spot, I have AJ Dillon's rushing touchdown against the 49ers in the playoffs. This is special to me. Didn't end up meaning anything because they lost the game, but I got to see this touchdown in person. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life. The first touchdown and only touchdown I've ever seen in Lambeau Field for the Packers. That was awesome. It wasn't a special play in any way, wasn't significant, but special to me. And at the number 1 spot, you guessed it, Dak motherfucking Prescott cannot get the ball snapped. Cannot get the ball snapped. Oh my God, if it isn't the perfect way for the Cowboys season to end. The perfect way. That was a terrible game by them, terrible game management, terrible clock management all around. There was a play earlier in that game where they took a delay of game trying to get Kyle Shanahan to call a timeout by running some stupid fake punt bullshit. But no, it ended perfectly for the Cowboys, as it should, in heartbreak. Sorry, Cowboys fans. We're all NFC guys here. We're all praying on the demise of the Dallas Cowboys, especially with Mike McCarthy. But yeah, I thought that has potential to be just play of the year in general. Just not getting the snap off the ref. You can't place the ball down wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Just the come on man of the entire year.
The thing that made it better was that the Chiefs orchestrated a game tying drive in less time than the Dallas Cowboys could get one play off.
Yep.
Oh man.
That's just what put the cherry on top right there. Bam.
Oh, it's fitting. So fitting. So fitting.
Oh yeah. Beautiful. It's really beautiful. So yes,
Jake, let's hear
those couple of bias picks there for Luke, I will say. I'm going to give an honorable mention, and I hate that this is not on my list. I got to give an honorable mention to the emergence of Joe Shiesty, Joe Burr throughout this season. I know it's not technically a moment, but just it's going to be one of those things that defines this season when you look back on it in NFL history.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. At number 3, I have Rashad Penny's second half surge dominance of the NFL out of fucking nowhere. He heard the chatter. He heard it. He was like, he didn't deserve to be a first round pick, which he didn't. And now I'm going to make every Seahawks fan eat shit. And that's what he did. I put out a public apology to Rashad Penny. I'm glad. I don't know if I did anything to piss him off, if the city of Seattle did anything to piss him off, but man, am I glad to be a 12 in that moment for pissing him off that much that he actually got some talent out of him. He looked fucking insane.
He looked like the best back in the league the second.
Honestly, dead ass. He did. So I hope he can carry that into next season. Like, we might go into this offseason thinking about trading Chris Carson, which sucks. I love Chris Carson, but at the end of the day, if you can get Rashad Penny running like that is better than Chris Carson, which is awesome. Yeah. So at number 2, I have the Lions' first win. Amon-Ra St. Brown catching the game-winning touchdown over the Minnesota Vikings to give the Lions their first win. I believe they were like 0-10-1 at that point. Dan Campbell, first win as Detroit Lions head coach. Just one of the best moments of the year, because the Lions were the most lovable team in the NFL. I know, except for Luke. The Lions were the most lovable most lovable team in the NFL. Nobody wanted them to go 0-17, and for them to get that first win, it was really special. I'm pretty sure for everybody in the NFL.
Damn right.
And at number 1, it's the Chiefs-Bills game. I can't. The greatest game I have ever seen. There were guys who had seen, like, there were 50, 60-year-old men on social media being like, yeah, I've watched football my whole life. That's up there. Like, that was insane. So just like, we all saw it. Everybody saw it. Everybody listening to this saw it. It was the greatest game I've ever seen in my life. 25 points in under 10 minutes is literally it's unimaginable. Like, that shouldn't happen, especially. Like, could you imagine, like, just the fact that it was like, oh, shit. All right, I guess the Chiefs are going to win. Oh, shit. Wait, the Bills just scored. Oh, now the Bills are going to win. Oh, shit. That's a Chiefs. Then the Bills go down and score. And, like, wild. So I don't think anything could top that, because I think that was the greatest game in NFL history. So
same.
Yeah, those are all definitely great ones. I have an honorable mention for mine as well. And my honorable mention is going to be Urban Meyer getting fired.
Yes.
It needed to happen. We all cheered for it when it happened. Nobody was upset. Jaguars fans rejoiced. So that one definitely had to be on there for me, but it did not break my top 3. At number 3, I have Justin Tucker making the NFL record 66-yard field goal. All-time moment. I mean, I love Justin Tucker. He's definitely going to go down as the greatest kicker in NFL history once it's all said and done, in my opinion. So for him to make that, especially if on a game winner, even if it was against the Lions, I'll take it. I love it.
But no Lions hate. No Lions hate here.
I'm not hating on the Lions.
They've been through enough.
Hold on. We did hate the Lions for a little bit at one point this season.
You guys did. No. I never.
It was all of us. It was everybody. It was all 3 of us.
I need some receipts. Hated them. I need some receipts.
We all hated them when we picked them, and then they lost.
That's the only reason. I didn't hate them. I just hated that they couldn't. I hated the fashion they were losing, because they should have won, and then they were just the last drive of the game every time. Just fuck them over. Ridiculous. Poor Lions, man. They really are cursed.
I will say the only thing that makes me love the Lions is Dan Campbell. Just going to throw that out there. Literally the only thing. And then at number 2 is the Bills and Chiefs game. I have that as well. I mean, how could you not have it on your list? And then number 1 for me is Justin Herbert's 60-yard touchdown. To Jalen Guyton.
Beautiful.
That might be the best touchdown pass, or just the best pass I have ever seen in my entire life. That was insane, on the money, 60 yards downfield. I mean, just crazy. I absolutely love that. And Justin Herbert, I mean, he's sealed himself as one of the best quarterbacks in the league this season, which is why, gentlemen, our next topic is our top 10 quarterbacks overall after this season, because the regular season is over. We do have the Super Bowl left to play, but the season is all but done. So we're going to go around, and rather than giving our whole list, we are each going to go around and give like 10, 10, 10, 9, 9, 9, so on and so forth. So Jake, if you want to start us out, go ahead and give us your number 10 quarterback.
Number 10, I have the man himself, the leader of Raider Nation, Derek motherfucking Carr. I think he proved that he should be in the top 10 of everybody's list at this point. Just this year, what he did with that team when it was in shambles. He's been so hated on throughout his career, and it was so undeserving. And I think now people are starting to open their eyes to the fact that Derek Carr is a top 10 quarterback in this league. So I got Derek Carr at 10.
Most definitely. I do want to give an honorable mention to Taylor Heineke. He comes nowhere fucking close to my top 10. I just want to give him an honorable mention.
Just want to mention Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
Just want to bring him up.
He deserves to be here. 10, I also have Derek Carr. As I was making my list, I was like, is Derek Carr going to fit? I was hoping Derek Carr was going to fit on my list as I was constructing it. He did. Comes in at 10 for me. I will say I apologize for some of my previous statements about Derek Carr. I think before the season started, he was just coming at Devontae Adams. It was a heated moment. I love Derek Carr. Don't get it twisted. I love Derek Carr. I love what he brings to this team. He's one of the best leaders by far in the National Football League. And for him to get his first playoff start, although they'd lost, it was awesome to see, because I thought he should have been an MVP. I thought he was a top 3 MVP candidate, back in 2016. That was, I don't remember that. No, that was the Matt Ryan and Tom Brady year. So yeah, I thought he definitely deserves all of his flowers. Good for Derek Carr. Love that guy.
At my number 10 spot, I will say I do not have Derek Carr, and Derek Carr, in fact, did not make my list. He would be my number 11, but he did not make it into my top 10. At number 10, I have the mini man himself, Kyler Murray. He did show me some things this season that made me move him down this list, really. Because early in the season, he was moving up. He was trending in the right direction. Then we saw him get injured. He comes back, and the play just wasn't quite what it was earlier into the season. So that's why he's so low right now. But I still think that he is extremely talented, and the Cardinals have a lot of things that if they can put them together right, that he can be one of the top quarterbacks in the league for sure.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And that leads perfectly into my number 9, which is Kyler Murray. Listen, Kyler, he definitely deserves to be in the top 10, a top 10 quarterback right now, because he is. But I think I couldn't help but move him down a little bit, bump him down a little bit just after that playoff performance. I'm sorry. You can't perform like that in the playoffs. And I will give him this year. I'll give him a break this year because it's a very inexperienced team. I actually think that if Larry Fitzgerald was on that team still, that he probably would have done a lot better just to have that veteran guy in the huddle. Just be like, hey, listen, take a deep breath, calm down. I've been here before. Just throw it to me. That's like, if Larry Fitzgerald was there, I feel like Kyler would have played a lot better, but you can't blow it in the playoffs. That is the number one thing you cannot do if you want any respect, any success in the NFL. So I had to put Kyler at 9, but again, he's an insane talent, generational talent, and I'm sure he'll be fine.
That leads perfect into my number 9 player, which is also Kyler Murray.
Yay.
Sick. Jake, we fucking have the same list. What's going on? Yeah. You asked me for this 4 months ago. Kyler Murray is probably my top 5. Today, Kyler Murray is at my number 9 spot. Yes, he came off of an injury, so you have to account for that. He just wasn't 100%. And also DeAndre Hopkins not being there for pretty much the entire end of the season. That also hurt. But that kind of showed how sort of one-dimensional Kyler Murray could be at sometimes, because he's always relying on DeAndre Hopkins. While you do have other options, it's not like he doesn't have a plethora of weapons. I mean, they traded for Zach Ertz. They have AJ Green, Rondale Moore. Where did Rondale Moore go, by the way, the second half of the season?
Disappeared.
Yeah.
Crazy. Completely gone. And I feel like they just never, ever used Christian Kirk enough. But then again, he's sort of a flyer. And I feel like him and Rondale Moore are kind of like the same player, very similar. They relied a lot more on their run game. And it's weird because Kyler Murray has, as we like to think of him as this big mobile quarterback, he doesn't run the ball too often, or is not as much as you'd think. I think he had about 300 rushing yards, I want to say. But yeah, Kyler Murray comes in at number 9, basically just because he sort of fell apart that second half of the season.
Yeah, totally agree. At my number 9 spot, I have Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is a great quarterback, obviously, and the only reason he's really here is because I think that the guys above him have just been better. They're just better quarterbacks, in my opinion. We saw some great things out of him this year. We saw some things that weren't so great and was like, what is he doing? You know, this is not the guy that we know Dak Prescott to be, especially in an offense that's this high powered. So, excuse me, I'd like to see a little more consistency personally, but he's still going to make it into my top 10.
He did set the franchise record for touchdown passes this year.
He did.
Yep.
He should be setting a lot more records with that receiving core. I mean, damn.
Yeah.
It's the Mike McCarthy effect. But anyway, moving on to number 8, I have Justin Herbert. We all know the talent that this kid is. Gage talked about his 60-yard touchdown pass just a couple minutes ago. One of the best passes I've ever seen. He is the future of the Chargers. He's one of those guys that we talk about when we talk about this next era of the league. He is so freaking talented, man. And I just can't say enough good things about him. And I hope that the Chargers don't waste his career like they wasted Phillip Rivers. I really hope they don't, because this kid is special and he has some championships in his future if this team builds around him the right way.
100%.
He's the complete package. Great hair, by the way. At least when it's long, not when he buzzes it down.
Yeah,
the buzz cut was, I don't know what that was.
What's wrong with short hair? Jeez. All right.
Hey, I have short hair.
No,
there's nothing wrong with his short hair.
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the buzz cut.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
We hate your hair, Jake. We hate
yeah.
Fucking knew it.
This is why Gage wants you gone.
Just trying to get rid of your hair.
No. That kind of leads me into my number 8, because there's been a lot of debate I've seen on Twitter and on TikTok recently. Who's the better quarterback, Justin Herbert or my number 8 quarterback, Joe Burrow? Now, let me just say, if Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl, he's going to be lifted on my list. That is a big preface. I need to say that right now. In fact, we'll get to another quarterback later who I think if he wins the Super Bowl, he's going to get moved up on my list. No matter what, the list is going to change. But Joe Burrow's done it all. Just absolutely done it all. I'd argue he's been the best quarterback in the league over the last month of the season. Just that 2-week stretch before the last week against the Browns. That 2-week stretch was ridiculous. Like 1,000 yards, like 8 touchdowns. Like it was just ridiculous. I mean, a lot of that was Jamar Chase, but still, he's the guy to get the ball there. He's just a winner. That's all you could describe Joe Burrow as. He just wins. And that's, what more could you want out of a quarterback? He's so calm, cool, collected whenever he's playing out there. I love Joe Burrow. I love Joe Shiesty. Love Joe Burr.
So we all 3 have different quarterbacks at our number 8 spot, because my number 8 is, and I'm probably going to piss people off with this, Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback. He's phenomenal, I think. But after spending a lot of this season injured and dealing with different things, along with just, I don't know, you want to see more out of him passing after they added some things to the receiving core and stuff like that. He looks really good early in the season. And we were talking about him as a potential MVP candidate because he was very much so the most valuable player in the league for that Ravens team. And then you see them without him and they're not able to do quite as much, even though Tyler Huntley did play well in his place. I don't know. I just need to see that unanimous MVP Lamar Jackson once again for me to kind of bump him back up this list.
Yeah. And I think when they have Rashad Bateman fully emerged into that offense next year, and they have J.K. Dobbins back, I think he'll be a lot better.
And they add Antonio Brown.
And they add Antonio Brown, of course. A lot of pressure was put on him this year, and I think he'll come back and he'll be better. But that's a perfect transition into my number 7 quarterback, which is Lamar Jackson. Listen, people are going to be mad, mostly Ravens fans, but only Ravens fans are going to be mad. But Lamar, like, what's the one stigma when it comes to Lamar? He doesn't always make the best decision throwing, and he's won 1 playoff game. Like, that's it. Like, you can't, he's had so many talented teams. He was the number 1 seed. I believe they were 14-2 the year they lost to the Titans in the divisional round. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. We just knocked, Kyler Murray down a few pegs for the same thing. You need to be able to win. Now, he has won 1. Okay. So give him his due there, but you need to win more. You need to win more. I haven't always seen Lamar Jackson step up in the moments where he needs to. And then other times I have. So, like, I know he can do it. It's just a matter of, can you do it consistently? And that's Lamar Jackson has all the talent in the world to be a top 5, top 3 quarterback in this league. And all I want to see out of him is better decisions, more consistency. That's it. But for right now, I have him at number 7.
Yeah, that leads perfect into my number 7 quarterback, which is Lamar Jackson.
Oh, all
right. Wow.
Yeah, look at that. Lamar, I feel like we have to look at Lamar differently than we look at other quarterbacks, because Lamar brings such a different skill set that we've never seen before. Obviously, now we're seeing it more and more with these sort of more mobile quarterbacks that could do a lot of things with their legs. But Lamar's on a different level when it comes to that. Like, he's on a different level than even Michael Vick at this point, I think, after winning that MVP season. But then again, that is 3 years ago now. What was that, 2019? Yeah, so that's 3 years ago now. And it's about now. Lamar was hurt, so I can't knock him too much, but he did not play particularly well after the first half of the season, where I was calling him the early MVP. I still love Lamar. I think he gets way too much hate. I think the running back joke is just overblown at this point because he brings so much more. And he has a big arm too, which a lot of people don't give him credit for.
He can sling it.
He has a huge arm. I just think accuracy sometimes is his problem. And let's be real, Lamar Jackson would have looked a lot better had Marquise Hollywood Brown and some of his other receivers not dropped every single thing that comes at them.
Yeah, they had to drop issues here.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. And I think he made Mark Andrews look incredible though this season, him and Tyler.
Oh yeah.
But Lamar Jackson, my number 7.
At my number 7 spot, and I was struggling with this number 7 and number 6 spot quite a bit, but at number 7, I have Joe Burrow. Joe Shiesty, he's played very well this season, and I think that he's played well enough to put him this high. We've talked about it a bunch of times. I don't think I really have to dwell on it too much, but Joe Burrow has just played incredibly well, especially for a second-year guy coming off of an ACL tear. You give him Jamar Chase when everybody was bitching that he should get an O lineman like Penei Sewell instead, and he shuts everybody up. So I love what I've seen out of him, and to put him at 7, I think is pretty reasonable.
And that leads perfectly into my number 6 guy, which is Joe Burrow. I've waxed poetically about Joe Burrow enough on this podcast. You all know how I feel about him. He's arguably one of my favorite guys to watch in the league right now. He is completely taking over the NFL, and it is so fun to watch. He's done everything. It was hard for me. I told you guys before we started recording, I was like, do I put Joe Burrow in my top 5? Because name one thing he hasn't proven. He's proven he could take a team after coming off a very ugly ACL tear, take a team, go 10-7 in the regular season, which is a good regular season. It's not that impressive, but it's for the Bengals after a 4-11-1 season, pretty impressive to do that. And then not only is that, he ends the team's 31-year playoff win drought, and then also takes the team to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1988. So he's out-dueled Patrick Mahomes. Okay. He's beaten the Titans while getting sacked, 9 times in a game? 9 times. He's done everything you could ask of him. And there's just so much that he's proven at this point where I can't help but put him this high. He's such a phenomenal quarterback. I am sure he will be an MVP at some point in his career, probably multiple times. This guy is the future of the NFL, and he is just so incredible and fun to watch.
I don't even know if he's the future of the NFL. He's the now of the NFL.
Honestly,
he's just like you said, he's completely taken over. I just want to preface this. None of us have Tom Brady on the list. Obviously, he just retired. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that none of us have Deshaun Watson on the list either.
I don't have him on.
Yes. You don't? Okay. Because he would be top 10, but other circumstances. At my number 6, and again, if this guy wins the Super Bowl, he's going to be moving up. At my number 6 spot, I have Matthew Stafford. It's so weird how nobody had Matthew Stafford in their top 10 quarterbacks ever. Let alone just a couple years ago, maybe last year. No, ever. This guy has been completely overshadowed by the Detroit Lions just franchise. He's been so good for so long, and now people are finally starting to see, now that he's on the big stage and under the big lights, where the lights shine the brightest in La La Land, Los Angeles. He's been outstanding this year. I had a take that said I don't necessarily think that Matthew Stafford is that big of an upgrade over Jared Goff, and holy shit, I couldn't have been more wrong. I couldn't have been more wrong. He went out there and absolutely killed it. Was one of the best quarterbacks all season long, was the best fourth quarter quarterback all season long. And he showed that against the Buccaneers. What just a rainbow to Cooper Kupp to win that game. He's been great this whole year. I don't know if it's him making Cooper Kupp look good or Cooper Kupp making him look good. Either way, both of them have been phenomenal as a duo. Matthew Stafford comes in at number 6 for me. Finally getting some love. Finally getting some recognition from media and just fans in general.
I also have Matthew Stafford at number 6, and that's why I kind of had issues with this 6-7 spot because of Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford, these 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks. But Matthew Stafford, I think, gets a slight edge because really, I mean, he was an MVP candidate for a lot of the year. He had the counting numbers and stuff like that. His efficiency was a little iffy at some points because there was some times where he was throwing a lot of interceptions and stuff like that. But I could gush about Matthew Stafford all day. I've loved the guy forever. I've said time and time again on this podcast and just out and about in my everyday life that if you get him off the Lions, he would be able to do something with a team that's even remotely a contender. And he showed that he could do just that. You were talking about, you don't know if like he made Cooper Kupp look good or it was the other way around or whatever the case may be. I really think that this was a mutually beneficial relationship for them because Matthew Stafford is now in the top 10 and Cooper Kupp looks like the best receiver in the NFL. It couldn't have been a better marriage, really. So he's going to make it in my number 6 spot. And I think for good reason.
It's the Bill Belichick, Tom Brady situation. It's like, who does one make the other look good? Or is it vice versa? It's really both. They both feed off of each other. And that leads perfectly into my number 5 quarterback, which is, you guessed it, Matthew Stafford.
Jordan Love.
You guys, I don't know what else to say. You guys said it all. He's great and he deserves everything that's come to him this season.
Yeah. Jake, you're gonna like this one. At number 5, I have Russell Wilson.
Woo!
I have Russell Wilson. Listen, so much like Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson were like MVP favorites in the first half of the season and then sort of fell off the second half. Russ did that last year. And then this year was obviously he was hurt. And the Seahawks had their first losing season with him. Russell Wilson is a special talent at the quarterback position. I think he still has the best deep ball I've seen in the league. Just his ability to pinpoint, like place it wherever he wants it to be, to Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf or whoever it may be. It's a shame that the team around him just is very under average, below average. Yeah, underwhelming. There's a mix of both. Just making up words out here. I still think Russ is one of the best, and I will die on that hill, as I'm sure you're going to die on that hill, Jake, and I'm sure you as well, Gage. I still think he's one of the best. I think they just need to put a team around him. And maybe although it's not looking likely, maybe get rid of Pete Carroll at some point. Maybe kick him out the door or have him retire. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Russ at 5.
And at my number 5 spot, I'm going to have the young gunslinger himself, Justin Herbert, the guy that was my number 1 moment of this NFL season, because he's proven it all. I mean, in his rookie season, he looked like one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And then in his second year, when everybody was expecting him to have a sophomore slump, he did the exact opposite and looked even better, in my opinion. I think that if it weren't for the defense, if it weren't for them being completely unable to stop the run and stuff like that, this team could definitely go far. So if they continue to improve, I think we're only going to see Justin Herbert look better as well. So he's going to make it to number 5 for me.
Yeah. He's great. At number 4, I got my quarterback. I got my guy. I got number 3 up there in Seattle. I got Russell Wilson at number 4. Anybody who doesn't think he's still a top 5 quarterback, I've seen people say he's not top 10 quarterback at this point.
I've seen that too.
It's ridiculous. It's so funny how quickly people forget. He had an injury. He was injured. He came back way too early. It was completely evident. Like the doctors were calling him a medical marvel. Basically, that's what the doctors say. He says he's never seen somebody recover that quickly from like hammer finger or whatever the hell he had. But he obviously wasn't ready, so that made sense. But towards the end of the season, he started playing better to the point where he just won. I know we shit on the Pro Bowl. He just won the accuracy challenge at the Pro Bowl because that's what he can do, which lets me know that he's fully healthy and back to being himself again. Man, I don't have enough good things to say about Russell Wilson. Like he's a magician in the pocket. He can literally turn dead plays into 40-yard gains. Like you said, he's got a complete moon ball for a deep ball, man. It is pretty. It is beautiful. And I just hope that he will stay in Seattle. And I hope people remember, and I hope he reminds the league next year who the hell Russell Wilson is, because people are very quickly forgetting. And I can't wait for him to give them a wake-up call.
You know what's crazy to think about? Like, if Aaron Rodgers were to retire, Russ would be the old guy.
Kind of.
Russ would be the old guy. I mean,
He's
Matt
like
Ryan probably,
yeah,
but
After Tom Brady retired, Ryan Fitzpatrick is now the oldest quarterback in the NFL.
That makes sense.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Forgot
much
about
longer
Fitzy.
he's got. Yeah.
39.
Hopefully forever. At number 4, I had a guy who you just talked about, Gage, and Justin Herbert. Now, this guy put the entire league on notice this year, especially the AFC West, because Patrick Mahomes, I mean, maybe it depends on the day, but he might not be the best quarterback come, maybe next season even, because Justin Herbert has just been that might be a hot take. That might be a little,
a little too hot.
Put it on IG. Sped.
Yeah, put it on IG. Sped.
That was a little Sam Darnold-esque right there. That was
Listen, I think Justin Herbert has it all. He's the full package of athleticism, IQ, arm talent, and just he's a good leader. He's a good leader at the end of the day. All of his teammates love him. I saw Keenan Allen, a clip of him just gushing over Justin Herbert because he is just that guy, plain and simple. Like I said earlier, plays better, I think so, when he has the longer hair than when he has the shorter hair. So I don't want to be seeing that. I want the locks there. But Justin Herbert, he's been outstanding. I didn't think he was going to take this big of a leap coming out of college. Like, he was great last year, and he got even better. Like, I didn't expect that soon, but should have seen it coming. He was a 4-year starter at Oregon. So, yeah, Justin Herbert, my 4 spot.
Yeah, the guy's fantastic. At my number 4 spot, I have another guy that everybody loves to gush over, that everybody thinks is fantastic, in Mr. Josh Allen up in Buffalo. He's been fantastic at 4. Yep, I figured that was going to be surprising. You'll see.
Whoa.
But I do have Josh Allen at number 4. And the only reason that he is that low is just because early on throughout the season, it was, I don't know. There was a little bit of like hills and valleys for him this season. The last portion of the season, he looked like easily one of, if not the best quarterback in the league. Early on in the season, they were blowing out teams like crazy. But in the middle, there was this big dip that you saw him take, and you saw the team take, where it was very questionable. You see them losing to teams like the Jaguars, and it's like, what's going on here? But obviously, coming off of like damn near an MVP level season last year, he played very well this year. And I think he's going to continue to play well, especially with that team that he has around him. I love Josh Allen, and I think that he's going to continue to be great, but you'll see who I have above him after.
Yeah. I can't say enough good things about Josh Allen. That's a little low for my liking. But I undoubtedly in the playoffs, he was a top 2 quarterback in the playoffs. Like he took it to another level. Going to number 3, I got the mystery man, the guy who showed his feet to the entire nation, to the entire world, really, for no apparent reason, Mr. Aaron Rodgers up there.
For great reason. What are you talking about? We had to see what was going on with the COVID.
We didn't have to see that. But put that on OnlyFans. Don't put that on YouTube for me. Thank you. But I got Aaron Rodgers. Listen, whether I do expect him to come back. I don't think he's done. I don't know if it'll be with Green Bay or if it will be with another team, the latter being probably more likely. But Aaron Rodgers, until I see a significant decline, I am going to keep putting him into my top 5. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He's honestly, before Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, the greatest thrower of the football I've ever seen. Like, I think still to this day, I've never seen somebody be able to put it on a dime like Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. Like, he is. I know Drew Brees had all those completion percentage and he's like one of the most accurate quarterbacks of all time. I've never seen somebody be able to put the ball where Aaron Rodgers puts the ball. It's insane, but he's still good. He's still really, really freaking good. His playoff pedigree maybe has taken a little dip, but listen, if you got 12 as your quarterback, nobody, and I mean nobody, is complaining.
I also have Aaron Rodgers at my 3 spot. What makes me so upset about just Aaron Rodgers not being able to get it done in the playoffs is because he is sort of he does have the one ring, obviously. He's going down a path where I think he's so insanely gifted and so insanely talented, one of the best, if not the best to ever throw a football. He's not going to be remembered. He's not going to be remembered. I don't think so. I understand Dan Marino is remembered, but not in the light that he should be as one of the greatest talents at the quarterback position I've ever seen. I'll fucking say, I think he's the best thrower of the football I've ever seen in my life. And Patrick Mahomes is probably next. I think we need to see the longevity there, but
Josh Allen's putting himself in that conversation too.
Oh, for sure. And we'll probably get to him in a sec, but it's upsetting because I don't think he's going to be remembered long-term. And the sort of just like the weird choices that he's made this past season, I feel like he's going to be remembered for some of the wrong reasons. Very Brett Favre-esque, just weird like dips the past couple years with him. Just where the fuck did these 2 back-to-back MVP seasons come from? Because that is not the quarterback I saw in 2019. That was absolutely not the quarterback I saw in 2019. I guess Jordan Love lit a fire under him or what have you. But Aaron Rodgers, the MVPs aren't good enough at this point. I think we all think that way because he is so talented. He needs a ring. But nonetheless, still one of the best to do it. Still one of the best to do it to this day. So he's at my 3 spot.
At number 3 for me, I'm just throwing it out there. I have Russell Wilson higher than the Seahawks fan.
Let's go.
Just throwing it out there.
I like that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Russell Wilson is still a fucking guy. I don't care.
He is.
And Luke, you compared him to like Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson, where he had this kind of dip. And I understand that. Like, I get that. But the difference with Russell Wilson and those guys is those guys are young. Those guys haven't done it on the biggest stage, really. Those guys haven't proven themselves quite as much as I've seen Russell Wilson prove himself year in and year out. I mean, you look at the past few seasons and he's leading the league in passer rating. He's cooking. He's doing what everybody wants him to, and he's cooking. Exactly. Russell Wilson is still one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and I genuinely don't think he's going anywhere still for a little while. I think he's going to come back next year, and he's going to look just as good after not being injured.
On the Seahawks, emphasis
potentially,
on that.
Potentially.
No, on the Seahawks. Thank you.
On the Seahawks, and I think that he's going to show everybody that he's still a top 3 quarterback in the league, in my opinion.
Hey, how about we get a real 12 up in Seattle and do a little Rodgers for
stop
for
it.
us.
That makes no sense. That makes 0 sense. He's trying to get number 3 to Green Bay. But
I wonder who number 2 is going to be for Jake.
Oh, I wonder who. Could it be the man who I'm wearing a freaking sweatshirt of right now? Mr. Josh Allen himself. Listen, I probably wouldn't have had him this high if he didn't have that playoff run that we all just witnessed, because that was his, message to the world. Like, hey, I've arrived. Like, this is it. Like that. You all gushed about my potential coming out of the drafts. Well, here it fucking is. And damn, is it fucking high? Like, holy shit. Like I was speechless at that performance. I will go to my grave saying that Josh Allen played better in that game than Patrick Mahomes did. He did. Patrick Mahomes had the weapons. Josh Allen had Gabriel Davis and just dotting up Gabriel Davis. Like, where the fuck did that come from? But his defense was just selling. Like, he had to literally carry. He's running 80 yards before he gets a 4-yard gain on the play. Like, he's trucking over guys. He literally injured a Chiefs defender, which like
people out. He broke ankles. Yeah.
I will continue to say this. Like, if you had to build a quarterback on Madden, you are building Josh Allen. You're building 90 speed, 95 trucking, like 99 throw power, like 90 deep accuracy. That's what Josh Allen is. I cannot wait to see this guy's NFL career play out. And he just is in the perfect spot with the Buffalo Bills, with the perfect fan base, in the perfect situation, with the perfect head coach who's going to get everything out of him. It's just such a refreshing scenario in Buffalo. And I love to just turn my TV to any Buffalo Bills game when Josh Allen is playing, because this guy, if I haven't said every superlative in the book already, like, he is just special. That's the only way to define it. He is fucking special.
It's so awesome being in upstate New York during this era of the Bills because holy shit, everywhere you go, it's Josh Allen, this, Josh Allen, that, and it should be rightfully so. I will say my top two are very close, and I did think long and hard about this earlier today. At number two, I have Patrick Mahomes, guys. At number two, I have Patrick Mahomes.
Whoa.
At number two, I have Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
I love it, though. I love it.
I'll explain why I have my number one, who I have at number one later. But Patrick Mahomes, he's the next iteration of Aaron Rodgers. I've been saying this for a little while, but better. But better because he wins more and he's more athletic. This guy is just ridiculous. I mean, you can't say anything else about it. Bazooka arm, just pinpoint accuracy. Like I said, these two guys are just so close. It's very hard to put one over the other, but Patrick Mahomes already established himself as a top 10 quarterback all time in my eyes. Like I said, longevity is going to play a factor into that, to see if he could hold up for a while, but I'm sure he can, especially with new age technology and just medical and stuff. He's been ridiculous for the past, I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. He's been insane the past 4 years now, 4 straight AFC championships.
Wild.
Yeah. And he took over the throne. He's taken over the throne the past couple of years, not going into next season though, because I have a guy ahead of him.
Okay. At number two, I have Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys have said a lot of it already because you've already listed him. One of the most efficient quarterbacks in NFL history. I mean, the guy just doesn't throw interceptions. He puts the ball where nobody else can really put the ball, that we've seen for years now. At least we've got some guys coming up that could potentially, argue that, but Aaron Rodgers has been that guy, is still that guy. And like you said, Luke, in 2019, it was like, what happened? And then he came back in 2020 and 2021, and he's likely going to be a back-to-back MVP. So it's hard to put him any lower than that for me. I think Aaron Rodgers is still perfectly capable of playing at a high level if he continues to play in the league. So we'll see what happens. But right now he's in my 2 spot.
Yeah. I mean, you can't say enough good things about Aaron Rodgers on the football field, at least. But moving on to number one off the football field, maybe a couple things, but number one, I don't think this is a surprise to anybody, is Patrick Mahomes. He came into the NFL with a vengeance. I mean, right off the bat, 50 touchdowns, NFL MVP. In his second year in the league, his first year starting, and then in his second year starting, what does he do? Oh yeah, he tops it, goes out, wins the Super Bowl with a franchise that hasn't won in 50 years, and then wins Super Bowl MVP. Like, this guy, I mean, I don't think I've seen a better start to a career ever. It's just wild. Patrick Mahomes, you've heard it. Everybody says it. Every NFL analyst, every football fan, everybody knows it. He is, like you said, he's the next Aaron Rodgers. He's the next Tom Brady. He's the next whatever you want to call him. He's going to be that guy that Chiefs fans want to wonder why everybody wants to beat him. It's because of number 15 out there in Kansas City. That's the reason every football fan hates you. And that's the reason we all want to beat you. It's because of that man right there. And maybe Brittany and Jackson have a little bit to do with it, but also no, Patrick Mahomes, he is, Again, just like I said with Josh Allen, there's no other way to describe him other than special. Yeah. And it's amazing that I get to watch his career through the lens of, I need to appreciate every second of this, because this doesn't grow on trees. This doesn't happen every day. Like, this man is going to be talked about in NFL lore for history. Same with Josh Allen, if his career lives up to it. So I think we're all very blessed and honored to be able to watch these quarterbacks, and especially Patrick Mahomes, who's at the mountaintop right now, in my opinion.
Well, that leaves me with my number one quarterback. This guy has AFC, plays in the North, cold weather guy. 2018 draft, early in there. Didn't think much of him at first. Baker Mayfield has been one of the great. Damn it. No, I think Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league, guys. I'm willing to say that. I think a big reason why, one, is because he's not Lamar Jackson mobile. He's a different type of mobile where he's slower, but he, like he said, he lays someone out. He'll hurdle over someone. He'll fucking juke someone out of their boots. Yeah, see, that's a hospital bill. I mean, the one thing in Josh Allen's way was it's not just winning the AFC East anymore. You've established yourself as the top guy in the East. The Bills run this for, however long they do. It's about beating Patrick Mahomes. It's about beating the Kansas City Chiefs. They did that earlier this season, but they had to do it in the big game. Josh Allen won them that football game. I know they lost the game. Josh Allen he outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that game. Let it be clear. He played back-to-back perfect playoff games. Perfect. In every scenario, he did what was asked of him and then some. It sucked in the way that they lost. But someone has to fall in that game. It just so happened to be the Bills because of a coin toss. Anyways, I think Josh Allen is great. And I think the style of football that he plays, at least I don't want to say that he's going to have a short career, but later towards his career, I think his running ability is probably going to be limited, but his frame, standing at that size, playing the quarterback position, he's been just a godsend for the Buffalo Bills. And I think he's the best in the league right now. I think he did enough for me to say that. There were some down stretches. They lost the Jaguars, and remember who predicted that? I don't remember that.
Oh my God.
I'll take that to the grave. But I think Josh Allen is the best. I think he deserves to be paid as such. I think he's the second highest paid quarterback behind Patrick Mahomes, but either way, he's up there.
Well, like Jake said, I'm on the other side of that matchup right there in Patrick Mahomes. He is going to be my number one quarterback. And Jake pretty much said it all. I mean, MVP, 50 plus touchdowns. The guy has looked incredible. This is his only really down year. And even this year, you could really make a case for him being toward the top, as far as even MVP voting and stuff like that. And people were like, oh, this is a bad year for Patrick Mahomes. And he really played a great season. Yeah. He just didn't play 50 touchdown MVP level. So everybody was like, what the hell is going on? But Patrick Mahomes is unlike anything we've ever seen. He came into the league just guns blazing and hasn't slowed down ever since. Yeah. He has, like you said, gone to 4 straight AFC championships. They've won a Super Bowl. He has done amazing things for that team. He's done amazing things for Andy Reid's coaching career. And I think that he's not slowing down anytime soon either. So he's going to be my number one. And I think that he's probably going to stay there for a while.
100%. 100%. Do you guys want to go over the top 10s again?
Yeah, we can do that real quick. You want to start? You can just go top to bottom, Jake, if you want to go from 1 to 10.
Yeah, I'll go from 1 to 10. So at 1, I have Mahomes, 2, Allen, 3, Rodgers, 4, Russ, 5, Stafford, 6, Burrow, 7, Lamar, 8, Herbert, 9, Kyler, and at 10, I had Derek Carr. That is how my top 10 quarterbacks rounded out.
We had a really similar list, Jake. At 1, I had Josh Allen. At 2, I had Patrick Mahomes. 3, Aaron Rodgers. 4, Justin Herbert. 5, Russell Wilson. 6, Matthew Stafford. 7, Lamar Jackson. 8, Joe Burrow. 9, Kyler Murray. And 10, Derek Carr.
And then for me, I definitely had the most different list of the three of us. But at 1, I had Patrick Mahomes, 2, Aaron Rodgers, 3, Russell Wilson, 4, Josh Allen, 5, Justin Herbert, 6, Matthew Stafford, 7, Joe Burrow, 8, Lamar Jackson, 9, Dak Prescott. And then finally at 10, I had Kyler Murray. And with that, that is going to wrap up our top 10 quarterbacks list and wrap up this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate it. And if you guys have anything to add real quick, go ahead and have at it.
Yeah, we all got social media. I'm, of course, Football Fan Zone. Jake is Jake Maltese 3 or Jake _ Maltese 3. Got to make sure I throw in the underscores every once in a while so they know it. And then Gage is Extra Points, as well as all of our Totally Unqualified accounts. We got TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. We got YouTube. You name it, we got it. So yeah, make sure to go follow us on all of those socials.
We don't have Tumblr.
No Tumblr shits. We need to hop on MySpace.
We do need to hop on MySpace. Maybe get a Tinder in there. We don't know.
Yeah.
We're
Snapchat.
still working it out. Yeah, maybe. But no, guys, make sure to go download the Overtime app. It's an awesome app. It'll make the Pro Bowl watchable this year because you'll have a $100 Nike gift card on the line.
True.
So be sure to go join that. It's completely free. You literally just download the app. It's an awesome app in the first place. And you get to play pools with us that we do every single week. And you can, kind of be more involved with our community, which would be completely awesome. And it's an awesome app. Highly recommend it. So be sure to go do that. And yeah.
Thank you so much, guys, again for listening. And we will see you in the next one.